Broadcast is live.
Excuse me, Lincoln.
Broadcast. Oh, hold up. Gotta shut this down real quick. All right. You ready to go, Chip?
Yes, sir.
All right. Buddy, let's hit record.
I'm going to have this right here in case I need it.
We recording. We're live from the Tasty Cake Studios here in South sunny Philadelphia, where it's always sunny.
In Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia. Because you know why? Super Bowl champs.
Let's just skip this segment.
Well, we ain't skipping nothing.
So how do you feel about, like, the whole thing everyone says, oh, backup quarterback beat Tom Brady? How do you feel about that?
Nick Foles ain't a backup quarterback.
But are we going to talk about how he didn't beat Tom Brady?
Listen, all I'm saying is that Nick Foles,
Great quarterback, great guy.
Nick Foles, we talk about 27-2, right? He had a great season.
Yeah.
Okay. And he then beats Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
He didn't beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Tom Brady.
He beat the Patriots defense. If he beat Tom Brady, who threw for more passing yards? Tom Brady, 505 yards. It's an all-time record.
Good for him.
In any postseason game.
Yeah, you know what he didn't do? He didn't catch a touchdown pass.
He did, though.
But he didn't.
He did back in 2007.
Oh, 11 years ago. That's cool. I guess that matters.
Listen, all I gotta say is
Whatever. Whatever.
5 rings.
Whatever. Flyers Nation, how we doing? Hope you're all having a great evening like we are.
Got 3 amigos here. Lincoln included. Lincoln, say hi to the camera.
Lincoln will always be a part of this podcast. Welcome to the second episode of the Broad Street Hooligans. I'm Paul. This is Austin, my lovely co-host. For those of you wondering, we do this live on YouTube. If you want to subscribe.
19 million viewers.
19 million viewers.
Yeah, 19 million.
Good start. So if you want to see the happenings, because right now I'm wearing a Carson Wentz t-shirt.
I'm not happy about it.
What are you wearing?
I'm sweating because I turned the AC off because it was too loud. It's not even remotely close to Christmas time yet.
But it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's actually yours.
It is mine.
But we have that rule where if you leave something at someone's house for like 6 months, it becomes theirs.
I don't agree with that rule, especially when you were the one who took it from me in the first place.
I should go into your closet then, shouldn't I?
Whatever, man.
Okay.
We're not going to get into that. So we're going to do a little pre-show action here before we get rolling. Because I have a story to tell. This story goes back a long time, and it's the reason I'm wearing this Carson Wentz t-shirt. Because, spoiler alert, I'm the reason Carson Wentz got injured. And, you can say that it was him, making a bad decision to constantly, carry the ball, that the play calling was suspect and always making him carry the ball. But to be honest, it's my fault. I blame myself. And so let's go back to a time when I was a young chap, a young Philadelphia Flyers fan, and I was obsessed.
Fan or curse?
Shut up. I was obsessed with Eric Lindros. Like obsessed.
Yeah, that you were.
And
I mean, was I a Yager? I was more of a Yager guy.
You were like
a Yager.
Whoever was good at the time, that's who you liked. So during that time, and because you hated me, and because Yager played for basically every rival of the Flyers, you chose to like.
Well, I had a Rangers jersey when he was.
It was a women's.
You
didn't know.
I was
didn't tell you, but you were young. Yeah. So I was obsessed with Eric Lindros, and I asked my dad for a jersey. Now, my dad, he's a little extra. So, like, basic white girl extra.
Yeah.
Our dad, because we're brothers.
Lunchbox, yep.
So, he's an extra kind of guy. So, one time we went to a gas station, and the guy had hanging up in his gas station window a poster of Eric Lindros. And Dad was just like, I'm going to get that poster for you. And literally talked to the guy into selling it. Anyways, that's how much I loved Eric Lindros. So I wanted an Eric Lindros jersey. And
here's where it all starts, folks.
So this is where it all starts. He got me this Eric Lindros jersey when they first came out with the black ones. He won it at a beef and beer. He must have played
St. Anthony's Club.
I don't even know. He
Shout
must
out
have
to
put
Anthony D. Fran, Jamie D. Fran, if you're listening.
He must have put probably like $300 into
Easy.
this raffle to guarantee that he was going to win.
Yeah.
The jersey.
Like he majority probably had 85% worth of tickets.
Yeah. So we went. He ended up winning it, and he gets for it. It's a signed black Eric Lindros jersey. The following season, Eric Lindros is, and we're in the playoffs, and we're playing the Devils, and Eric Lindros comes skating across the neutral zone and gets plowed.
What's his name?
By
Scumbag Scott Stevens.
Scumbag Scott Stevens.
That's right.
And completely derails Lindros' career. So I'm heartbroken. Whatever. I was really upset, and so that happens. So then, I still love the Flyers. I didn't follow them as closely because Lindros was kind of like out of the picture at that point. And then comes around
Lucas Spiza.
So we started to get these young, we finally have like this young prospect because the Flyers were famous for trading all of their prospects forever. So we finally get this prospect as a defenseman named Lucas Spiza.
Plays for the Ducks now?
And no, he actually played for the Knights.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
he originally played for the Ducks. That got traded to the Knights. Yeah.
So we went to a game, and I don't know why, but I fell in love with this kid. I was like, oh, Lucas Spiza, yeah, got to have his jersey.
Next big name.
So my dad's like, okay, yeah, you want a Lucas Spiza jersey? All right. So he buys me a Lucas Spiza jersey for Christmas. Then, don't you know it?
Next season.
Off season. I think it was the off season, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's when we did it. Breaking news: Philadelphia Flyers trade. It was Lucas Spiza, a first-round pick, and a bunch of crap. They traded a ton of assets for Chris Pronger, and was Joffrey Lupul part of that deal?
Oh, Joffrey Lupul.
I'm pretty sure he was. I can't even remember if he was.
Because Upshaw was already there. No, might have.
It wasn't Upshaw. No, Lupul was definitely part of the deal.
Upshaw was there,
but I don't know if he came or went. Honestly, I forget. In all honesty,
Joffrey Lupul. Yeah, I don't remember. I have to look that up.
Let me look that up. So, anyways, they traded Lucas Spiza. We had to get this freaking custom made, however expensive it was.
Probably over $250.
Oh, no. Lupul went the other way. Oh, we got back Ryan Dingle. That's right. Ryan freaking Dingle. Dingleberry. I don't even know if he ever played a game in the NHL. So, yeah, we traded Lucas Spiza, so that was really cool. So now I have 2 jerseys. Goodbye to these guys. So then, 2 years later, I think. Harder. So 2 years later, we're in the Winter Classic against the Bruins. And my dad, my brother, and I, we planned this trip up to Boston. We're going up to Fenway. We're not going to go to the actual game, but we're just going to be
bars.
We're going to be
in the hotel room like 10 minutes from there, not even.
We're going to be in Boston. We're going to be having a good time. And he asked me, hey, for Christmas, is there anything you want? I'm like, oh, well, if we're going up to Boston for the Winter Classic, like, I want a Winter Classic jersey. So he's like, okay, well, what player do you want? And this is, Mike Richards and Jeff Carter.
Solid.
The best. They're like, we love them.
Cemented in.
I can't decide. I can't decide which, because I'm like, I love Jeff Carter as a goal scorer. I love Mike Richards as the captain. Who do I want? I can't decide. I tell him, you decide for me. So Christmas morning rolls around. He goes, I got one more gift for you. Well, actually 2 more, but it's only going to be 1 more.
And I think I was away, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. You were up in Massachusetts.
Yep.
already. You were already up there.
I was already up there.
So, so I'm like, what are you talking about? So he has 2 packages in his hands because you got to pick one. So I'm like, all right. So like, you can open them both, but you're gonna have to send one back. So I open them up.
What do you know?
One is a Jeff Carter Winter Classic jersey. The other is a Mike Richards Winter Classic jersey.
With fight straps.
With fight straps. They were definitely fake. 100% fake. He got them off eBay.
Absolutely.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I chose the Jeff Carter, but he did buy me both. Next offseason rolls around. No, there's no way. There's no way they're going to trade
cemented in.
Richards. Like Holmgren literally came out and said it.
Package deal done.
Next day,
gone.
After he said that,
ceased
get a
to be
text on my phone. Breaking news.
Done.
Flyers trade Mike Richards to
Kings.
The Los Angeles Kings. And I was like, oh, you got to be freaking kidding me. 2 minutes later, breaking news. Flyers trade Jeff Carter to the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Flying away from Philadelphia.
Oh, my gosh. So now, let's keep it count. We have Eric Lindros derailed his career after I got his jersey.
Lucas Spiza, no.
Lucas Spiza. Now, listen, in all honesty, pretty dumb on my part. The guy played maybe like 40 games for the Flyers, and I got his jersey.
Yeah, but it's all about the risk.
Either way.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to...
I probably am actually the reason that we ruined his career, more or less. But, so Lucas Spiza gone.
But those
then,
two, I mean...
Mike Richards, Jeff Carter, gone. I've gotten all of their jerseys.
See, Lucas Spiza didn't come as much as a surprise as Carter. Richards and Carter really hit home. Because you have to think that was, to us, that was our franchise, was those 2 guys right there.
It was.
Realistically.
I was the reason that they were traded.
Yeah. So, and then it was just this joke that he couldn't go to Flyers games anymore because he was the curse.
Well, no. So now.
Well, that's okay.
Now, so here's the thing. We wanted to test the theory, right? I think we wanted to test the theory.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting the timeline because I can't remember when we got this. But okay. So we wanted to test the theory.
Should we start your next jersey?
So we were like, you know what?
This was the next year after, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, no, because you took a break.
Oh, no.
There's one more.
No, there's one more.
There's one more. This goes back to me.
This was the next Winter Classic in Philly.
In Philadelphia against the Rangers.
The New York Rangers. Which is a crazy story in itself, which we don't have time to do today.
But we actually went to that game.
But we were actually in that game. So
he was playing.
Again, my dad is like,
somehow.
So now I'm getting my timeline true because I can't remember if the other guy was traded before this. I can't remember. The theory tester. Don't say the name yet.
Okay.
Because I can't remember. But so we got you'll remember when I say it. So my dad again asked me, "Hey, what do you want for Christmas?" You know what? I really want another Winter Classic jersey.
These ones were nice too. These were
he got me an official one, and he
But those were the orange.
And you guys were like
black ones.
Yeah, you guys were like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want like another jersey?"
With genuine concern though, like it wasn't a joke at this point.
No, it was like
it
was
genuine.
Real.
Like my dad was actually getting not upset, but he was like
questioning,
like
why.
Seriously, like figure your shit out.
I was like, come on, like we don't believe
you were
that,
taking
right?
it as a joke.
And
me and Dad were.
And so, and I couldn't decide on a player because part of me was a little bit nervous. I was like, whoever jersey I get through, they're going to get
injured. At that point, I already snagged Drew.
So, yeah, you stole Drew from me. That's a story from another time.
From you. I met him before.
No, we're not going to go there. Okay. We're not going to go there. So I'm like, you know what? Yager is a classic name. He's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer.
He's not going anywhere.
I want Yager's name on the back of this jersey. Well, don't you know that in the Winter Classic, Yager gets injured?
Oh yeah,
freaking Rupp. Brian Rupp scores. He scored 3 goals that season. Yeah. I think he scored 2 in that Winter Classic.
Yep.
And did the Yager salute? Gave us the Yager salute. And then the next offseason, Yager's gone. Left the team.
So what are we at there?
So now you got
You want to call it
Lindros.
5?
You got Lindros, Spiza,
Richards,
Carter, and Yager.
That's 6. That's
So then,
the devil's number.
Then the next, I think it's the next offseason. This may have happened. I can't remember the timeline now. I can't remember when this guy got traded. But we were like, we got to, you know what? Let's test the theory. Because there was one player that we all hated. There was one player that we were all just like, oh my gosh, if I have to watch this guy skate and fall.
Oh, yeah.
One more time.
Begin with an H?
Began with an H, ended with a Hartnell. Artnell.
And it's amazing because it's so not your type of hockey player.
And I hated Hartnell. I couldn't stand, he had a couple good seasons. He scored some goals, but the guy couldn't skate. He fell down all the time. He was always taking stupid penalties. So
he
I'm
was
like, guys,
pretty much good for nothing.
I was like, guys, you know what? Let's test the theory.
Hey, but he won a Stanley Cup.
Shut up. Get me a Scott Hartnell. And don't give me a jersey. Give me the jersey. Get me the cheap,
So
whatever.
it's, yeah.
So my dad gets me the jersey shirt.
I was with him. We were down in Atlantic
Outlets.
City at Reebok Outlets. Yeah.
So he gets me the Hartnell jersey. Don't you know it? Bye-bye, Hartsey.
Too nashy.
Out the door. And then, so that was pretty awesome.
So we'll call that 6.5.
Then.
Who's after that?
So after that, he had also gotten me he got me, I don't know if he bought it or if he got it at a game, but it was the City of Brotherly Love t-shirt that had Luke Shen and Braden Shen.
Oh, yeah.
And they traded Shen.
Next offseason.
They traded Shen the next offseason after that, and then eventually Braden Shen was traded. So you've got Lindros, you've got Spiza, you have Carter, Richards, Yager, Hartnell, Braden Shen, Luke Shen.
I mean,
that's 8 players whose destinies have been decided.
Let's get you an Andrew McDonald shirt.
Now, also, actually, it's a great idea. We're going to do that. Give me an Andrew McDonald.
We're going to start a GoFundMe. Go follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Then I was like, you know what? I figured out the curse. It's when my dad buys the stuff for me. Yeah. When he gets it for me, that's the problem. We got to get rid of that. So I bought myself a Giroux jersey and a Voracek jersey. Now, they didn't get traded. However, the next season, they both had their career worst years.
Yeah.
So I also blame myself for that. Then, stupid me, I got real hyped up during the Eagles season. And then
hadn't watched a football game in 8 years.
Shut up.
They get good, and then all of a sudden.
So I got real into loving Carson Wentz. I'm like, this guy's awesome.
Choo choo. You're that bandwagon.
God-fearing man. Love this guy. I'm like, I gotta support him.
He's not gonna be the same.
So I bought this shirt. I bought this Carson Wentz t-shirt.
Bye-bye ACL.
Next game? Yeah, he tore his ACL.
In half.
Tore his ACL. So that's my life. And that is why we've decided that
I'm a bigger Columbus fan.
No.
Whatever. This dates back all the way to 2013.
You pulled up a picture on your phone.
This isn't even 2013. This was before this. Look at that hair.
I was in Virginia Beach.
Folks, for those that can see that, I met Claude Giroux.
Whatever. So we've decided that I can no longer buy any oh my gosh, that's a picture. I can no longer buy any players that we actually want to keep on the team. So, yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to buy an Andrew McDonald.
Andrew McDonald. There's got to be a couple more.
Oh, I mean, Yuri Laterra,
Yeah, there you go.
Filppula, just to guarantee that he's not going to re-sign here. I'm pretty sure he's not. I think he's going to go back to the Red Wings, which is great. Thank God. Yeah, I mean, that's,
Brandon Manning.
Gudis. Well, Manning's not coming back.
That's true.
That was pretty much already decided.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's the jersey curse. The famous jersey curse.
It's a real-life issue.
It's a real-life thing
we have
that happens
at hand.
Yeah.
So,
but hey,
Philadelphia sports problems.
I learned from my mistakes, and I'm growing, and I haven't bought anything since then. So I did buy a Sixers playoff shirt. But that was before the first round. I bought that before the first round even started.
But they still lost.
And but not until the second round. So I'm exempt from that one.
Think LeBron James is coming to Philadelphia?
I would, yeah. Where else is he going to go? He ain't going out west. All right, so listen, we got a couple beers that we're trying tonight. This is going to be a thing that we do. So I've got here the Stone Vertical Epic. Why are you just holding up your glass? Cool.
Getting it lubed up.
So I'm going to be trying this guy out. Austin, what you got?
We're going to do like a little review on these guys. I have the, this is how I like my woman. Nice and Tonewood Fuego.
Fuego.
So I'm thinking this is going to be kind of a hoppy, spicier beer, maybe.
I mean, it's an IPA. Hope you're into that kind of thing.
I don't mind it. So we'll let you know how we think about it.
This has got a nice head to it. You were pouring that without a care in the world.
Look at that. That's a good head.
That's like twice the size of a head that you need.
I like a big head. Coming from the kid who barely can get out the womb.
Shut up, dude. Hey, cheers, bro.
Cheers. Cheers to
the Flyers.
Cheers to the 4 million viewers we have right now.
I'm into that.
Tastes like every other IPA drink.
Pretty much all IPAs.
It's good.
Taste exactly the same, which is fine because IPAs are good.
Definitely hoppy for sure.
All right, so let's actually get going. Again, we are the Broad Street Hooligans. I'm Paul. This is Austin. We are here to talk some Philadelphia Flyers action as well as some around the league stuff. So let's get into it. Austin, give me your hot take. Give me your quick hit right now on the Flyers. What's your thought? 30 seconds.
I'm not going to hit it on the Flyers. I'm going to hit the fans right now. All you keyboard warriors, get off of it. Y'all need to relax. All right? We're making progress. For the majority of those who think this season was a waste and we went backwards, I think you weren't watching the correct season. I mean, look at Giroux.
102 points.
Voracek. Outdid Stamkos this season in points.
I mean,
or was right behind him.
No big deal.
We made the playoffs. We didn't make the playoffs 2 years ago or 2 seasons ago.
It's true.
And realistically speaking, we kept up with the Penguins as best as we could with what we had.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. It's just everyone just needs to relax.
I mean, and now listen, there's some things you can be mad about.
Absolutely.
There's some things that you can freak out about, which we're upset about. A lot of it centers on Dave Haxtell and what is like seemingly an inability to coach,
to make good decisions.
And as the coach, that's a pretty big issue.
Yeah.
If you're a coach and you are not good at coaching, that's an issue.
But I think, but we also can look at that because it's, again, we said it in the last segment, he's got to just take it's
baby steps.
Yeah. It's working with professional athletes to college athletes is completely different. And
now, and here's what I'll say in response to that too, is that, and actually one of the others, so we got to give a shout out to, there's another Flyers hockey podcast, Broad Street Hockey Radio.
Let's go.
Love them. They're the best.
You've showed me a couple there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I graduated with Bill. He's a great guy.
Did you really?
I did, yeah. And those dudes are awesome. And I think it was Charlie on the show who brought up the point that, everything is kind of, they're just like biding their time until Carter Hart is ready to go. And which is like maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe that's why Hextall hasn't made the Dougie Hamilton type trade that was just made. It's just gonna fall again.
Yeah.
So, whatever. Just let it happen. There it goes. There it goes. So maybe everything just coincides with that. And if that's the case, it'd be nice if they just came out and were like, yeah, guys, it's going to be a long process.
Yeah, but could you imagine if they did that?
I know.
How, especially Philadelphia fans.
It's just when it seems like there's no direction, you're just like, what are you doing? Then
but there is direction because
I know.
we made we got the Penguins in the first round. What Come on.
I know.
We played.
Anyway,
we were inconsistent all year. That's hockey. It's not football.
There was progress, and that I think is something that most people need to realize.
Yeah,
that there was progress.
Two of our best players came off their worst seasons and had their best season. There's going to be inconsistency in hockey. It's
all right. So here's my thing, and this is something that Hextall has actually been pretty good at since taking over as general manager.
That's breeding flamingos.
Breeding flamingos, yes, very good at it. Also good at not giving players term. And so something that I want to avoid, because we are heading into free agency, July 1st.
It's so fun. It's so fun.
So it begins July 1st. Pretty excited to see what the Flyers do or don't do. Avoid term.
Nothing really has been.
Avoid giving the players who don't need it 6 to 7 years on a contract.
Yeah. Anyway, you tie yourself up.
You get locked into guys like Evander Kane. JVR is probably going to want 7 years. When you give these guys
Can we talk about Evander
Kane?
Kane?
We will.
He's just he irks me so much.
Avoid that. Avoid that at all costs, because when you get locked into these guys for that long, you're blocking prospects and you're banking. You have no idea what's going to happen to a guy in 2 years.
Shea Weber.
Let alone now listen. Shea Weber got off to a fantastic start. So I don't want anyone to think here that this is a story for another time, because I don't want anyone to think, though, that Shea Weber is all of a sudden a bad defenseman. I get it. He tore his ACL. But
no, I thought he tore his Achilles tendon.
Was it his Achilles?
His Achilles tendon. Yeah, he tore his Achilles tendon.
Yeah, well, so did Erik Karlsson. And he's missed 15 games in 5 seasons since then?
That's true.
Whatever. The guy was scoring in an insane pace. So avoid the term. Don't go crazy with contracts, because you have to leave space for the kids to come up here, and you don't want to get locked in.
Turn into the Blackhawks.
Keep that going. Keep that going. So before we get into free agency stuff, though, we do need to talk about the draft. Now, I know that you, in particular, didn't do a whole lot of draft research.
No.
So, which is fine.
That's more
my game.
That's more your.
I'm the more analytical thinker, projector. You're the more in the moment. I
like to watch it out there in the season, kind of, and see how the players.
You analyze play better than probably I do. On ice play.
I've played longer.
You did. But you were better than me.
You've always been better with statistics and analytics. And
so that's kind of where I shine. I really get into prospects because I love trying to project out.
It's also been double XP on Fortnite, so
gosh. So the Flyers had an interesting first round. Now, the whole first round was interesting in that, remember what I said was going to happen? Montreal Canadiens were going to take
Did I not text you, though?
You did.
I was still following. I was actually.
You followed the draft.
Guess what? I was actually bowling and watching it on my phone. That's dedication, folks.
That is dedication.
Because you called it. You want to talk about someone who manifests stuff?
That Montreal was going to take a reach and they were going to go after Kotkaniemi. Now, I say that in light of the fact that draft picks, you don't know what they're going to be. You don't.
No.
You can try and project all you want. You never know. Okay. Nail Yakupov. Great example. Alexander Daigle. Look him up. He was supposed to be the next great one. And he wasn't even.
That's what happens.
You
can find a diamond in the rough. You know what I mean?
So Montreal takes Kotkaniemi. Barrett Hayton goes number 5 overall to the Coyotes, which was complete. And I figured what was going to happen is that someone's going to take Kotkaniemi, and then there was going to be a run of defense. Not what happened. I can't believe Zadina fell as far as he did.
Yeah,
I can't believe Wallstrom fell. Frickin' the Islanders got Noah Dobson and Oliver Wallstrom.
And are we going to talk about how insanely good they're going to be this year?
Matthew
Barzal.
I'm just trying to think what Oliver Wallstrom's going to be able to do if John Tavares stays there and he can play on John Tavares' wing. And you got Noah Dobson feeding the puck off the ice.
And you even have Matthew Barzal, who's a great second-line forward. That's going to be a good hockey team. We're gonna and this goes back to
needs to stay there.
Now with that young prospect,
he's got to stay there. They need a goalie, but he's got to stay there.
Their defense is mediocre. They're not bad.
Yeah, the defense is all right.
It's
not bad. They have a decent. They've
done better. Andrew McDonald was their number one defenseman at one point in time, so they've done better.
Yeah, now he's our number one defenseman.
Shout out to Andrew McDonald. We love him.
So what happens? The Flyers benefit from this in being able to select my boy, Joel Farabee. Joel Farabee.
Joel
Farabee.
Joel.
So I talked about him in our draft preview episode. Now, I didn't touch on him a lot for the simple fact that I did not think he was going to be there at number 14. I had him at my, if he's there, he is the no-brainer pick.
Who did you say he was like? Joe Pavelski.
He's like a Joe Pavelski-ish, like
Logan Couture maybe even.
But he's like, he does everything really, really well. He can kill penalties. He plays a 200-foot game. He's a fast, great skater. He has a better shot than people realize. Yeah. He's actually now he's kind of overshadowed by Oliver Wahlstrom and Jack Hughes, who he's played with with the development team in the U.S.
and the juniors. Yeah,
but he's actually one of the reasons that line succeeded so well, and people don't realize it. His underlying numbers are insane, and he propped them up for a little bit. And when he played on his own line without them, these tied, like Jack Hughes is the consensus number one overall pick next year. And he is a special talent. He's like, I don't know if he's McDavid, but he's right there. He's right under that. So, and then Wahlstrom, I think, was actually the beneficiary. I think that Wahlstrom was the one who was benefiting from playing with Jack Hughes and Joel Farabee, because before Hughes got there and before Farabee was on that line, Wahlstrom was doing like okay by himself. Yeah. But he was like, he's not the guy. He's not the guy. Now he's probably the best goal scorer in the draft, but he's not going to be the guy. Yeah. Farabee can be the guy. And he's just, his shot's phenomenal. His vision's phenomenal.
Do we expect to see him
not this year?
This season?
No.
Wouldn't you just love to?
He's 160 pounds.
And he's 18?
Yeah, he just turned 18.
He just turned 18, right?
February.
So he's 17.
So, yeah, he's a baby. So he's going to where the heck is he going? He's going to Boston University. I believe he's going to. I have it up here. It's either BU or BC, but I'm pretty sure it's BU. Yeah, Boston University. I mean, this kid had for the USN TDP, he had 40 points in 26 games. I think Wahlstrom had 45, and Jack Hughes had like 54 because he's a freak. And he's only like 5'10" and 160 pounds, and he's a center.
It's the new NHL,
and though. Yeah,
it really is. Small and fast.
Yeah, and then for the U18 team, which he was the captain of, which is awesome, he had 33 goals, 43 assists for 76 points in 62 games. But he also plays hard. He takes penalties, which is a thing. Not that many. I mean, he had 44 penalty minutes in 62
That's fine
games.
As long as you're not
That's
good.
Okay. As long as
if you are skilled and can do stuff, take penalties. That's fine.
If you need to, yeah.
Yeah,
do what you got to do.
Yeah, don't just go take them just to take them.
Yeah, and then the World Juniors, he put up 8 points in 7 games. Really, he's a really good player. I'm really excited about him, really high on him. Next up, though, was I don't think a pick that anyone expected because no one knew who this kid was. So with number 19 overall, with another person that I had talked about in our draft show, who I also didn't think would be available at number 14, was Ty Smith. Now, Ty Smith was sitting on the board at 19. And I'm sitting here thinking, tell me that the top 2 guys I wanted were going to get. Then Hextall rolls up to the podium with the 19th pick in the 2018 NHL entry draft. The Philadelphia Flyers select Jay O'Brien.
What?
Who? Crickets? No, like I don't know anyone who's actually heard of this kid. Now, immediately I'm like, all right, let me pull up the black book. Let me do some research on him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, hockeyprospect.com had him rated 24th. So, and with the general consensus of this draft was basically that everyone after pick like 12 in the first round
was kind of a wish wash. Yeah, it was.
So I was like, oh. And then no other major ranking systems out there had him in the first round. Everyone pretty much had him in the early to late second.
Yeah.
So there's some people saying, oh, he would have been there at 50. He wouldn't have been there at 50. He's a center. This draft is not deep in centers. So he was not going to be available. So I started doing my research. And then ever since then, because there's been a lot of like chatter about this pick and why they made this pick, a lot of people have come out and they've really stuck up for him. And now the reason being is that he played in high school, that he didn't go to a higher level, play to develop his game. He stayed in high school, which most players will leave to either go play in juniors
farm league.
Yeah, they'll go, overseas. They'll go to Canada to play in the CHL or whatever. He decided to stay in high school. He broke records playing for Thayer Academy, which Tony Amonte and Jeremy Roenick have come out of. He broke Tony Amonte's scoring record. He also, Tony Amonte is his coach currently. So the kid's got a pedigree. And then Paul Stewart, who he's a retired referee, he also played in the league. He came out and said some stuff about Jay O'Brien, saying that, and he writes for HockeyBuzz.com. He says, Philly got a good one in Jay O'Brien. And most of his article was about how, the O'Brien family actually really helped him out with a lot of personal issues. But he says this about Jay O'Brien. He says, one of the most intriguing picks in the 2018 NHL draft was Thayer Academy center Jay O'Brien, selected 19th overall in the first round by the Philadelphia Flyers. Down the line, I think he's going to be a very good NHL player. Reminds me quite a bit of a young Jeremy Roenick, another Thayer Academy product, in his puck skills, shooting ability, competitiveness, and agitator streak. He is an exceptional skater, very good on both edges, and he has solid two-way instincts. He's a hockey player through and through. So most of the comparisons that you're seeing right now all lead to like a hybrid of Jeremy Roenick and Zach Parise. And we're like prime Zach Parise. So very hard on the puck, wins a lot of board battles, and very competitive, gets very involved in the 200-foot game.
From what I remember, Jeremy Roenick was always fired up. Fired up, baby.
And he scored a lot of goals.
And
so the more and more research I do on this kid, the more and more I'm really hyped for him. Now, he is going to Providence College. He is probably at a minimum, I'm going to say, I want to say 2 years, but he's probably more like 3 years away, which is a shame because that's a while. But he's very raw. And then again, he's only been playing, in high school. Now he's going to be playing this summer in the World Junior Summer Showcase, and which Joel Farabee will also be playing in that. So we're going to get a chance to see him. So we should be excited, and we should be pumped up about that. So really high on this kid. And then with the third pick real quick that we had in the draft, we won't really touch on anything outside of this because the statistics for a draft pick playing in the NHL for more than 100 games are like astronomical, like once you get past the first round. So it's like in the first round, there's like a 90% chance that the player is going to play more than 100 games in the NHL.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Now, 100 games in the NHL, that's not a lot. So 90% success rate to play just over one full season in the NHL, like that's not that great.
Yeah.
You would think for first-round picks. Second-round picks, it drops significantly to like, I'm not even sure where, but it's still a decent amount. And then once you get past the second round, it falls off a cliff. And it's in like the single digit, like almost no shot. So, if you can find the Oscar Lindbloms of the world, good on you. So we picked Adam Yinning, soft G. I'm sorry. You don't often see a soft G. That's not like
unless it's French.
He's not French. He's Swedish.
That's the same thing to me.
Same thing. Same thing to me.
If it ain't America, it's the same.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
That's right.
I'm not
so
like
Adam
that.
Yinning.
I like that. Ginning doesn't sound right.
Yinning.
You know what? That's like Jill and Jeff.
Yeah.
Gil and Geff.
Gil and Geff. Yes. Yeah. So Adam Yinning, defenseman, big guy, Robert Haig 2.0.
Great.
So
Love him.
I didn't really get the pick. There was other players available that I would have taken, but I'm not Ron Hextall, and I'm gonna say, you know what, Hextall is pretty good at drafting. So I've read a few things and watched a couple things here and there, but I have not spent seasons scouting these kids.
When you get this deep into the draft,
even at 50th overall, like, you know what, it's a crapshoot. Okay, like, I'm not gonna sit here and bitch and moan about it. I'm just gonna say, okay, if that's who you wanted, that's who you took. You know more about these guys than I do. So if the guy ends up being a replacement for, Sam Morin because his knees fall apart, all right, that's fine. So with that, though,
definitely an interesting.
There was a lot of talk about, and a lot of people were upset that Hextall didn't move up. And this is kind of something I wanted to touch on because I was sitting here on this very couch that we were recording this. I was sitting here screaming when I saw Zadina and Wallstrom both start to fall. I was yelling at the TV, Hextall, Ron, move up. Move up. You can do it. You have the pieces to do it. Get one of these guys. And nothing happened. And a lot of people are upset about it. And I get it. There were good players falling in this draft who could probably play in the NHL this season.
Absolutely.
And we did nothing. That's not to say that Hextall didn't try. I'm sure that he got on the phone, and when you have a team like Detroit sitting there with third best player in this draft falling into their lap, the cost was probably pretty high to get up and get him.
And now who do you think it would be?
To move up to get him?
Yes.
Well, you're definitely giving up both of your first-round picks.
Easily.
And probably a roster player.
As in maybe Travis connecting or something.
You probably, yeah, I would say with Philip Zadina sitting there, you're probably looking at both first-round picks and a decent roster player. So maybe like a Sanheim or someone who's under, cost control with your club, who's restricted,
But again, we talked about it in the last segment. It was the risk reward. You just don't know, especially with the NHL.
Right.
Like, okay, for instance, Penn State, Saquon Barkley coming into the Giants. You know he's going to tear it up in the NFL. He's going to.
Is he?
The man is not. Have you seen the legs on that man?
We don't know.
He's not human.
You never know. I saw Al Morgani in my shop. Sold him a driver. I asked him what he thought of the draft. He said, we won't know for 3 or 4 years. You're not going to know. You're just not going to know. Philip Zadina could be a freaking bust for all we know.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So, there's that. And again, it just goes back to the fact that Hextall has shown an ability to draft. And if the cost was too high to move up, I don't blame him. So, there's that. But whatever. He didn't do it. Okay. Moving on. Wayne Simmons.
Oh,
there was a lot of rumors.
Can we just stop talking about this?
He didn't get traded yet. There was a rumor that Hextall had made a call to Calgary.
Over to Calgary.
Or Calgary called, I don't know who knows? This is just a rumor. This may have not happened. I don't know. But there was a rumor that there was a deal on the table, Wayne Simmons for Dougie Hamilton straight up. And Hextall was not willing to go above that, meaning that Calgary wanted more. Now, Calgary ended up getting Noah Hannafin and Elias Lindholm for Dougie Hamilton, Michael Furlander, and
I heard about that. Yeah.
What's the guy? Fox.
Yep.
So you're wondering, okay, what's the comparable cost? So the Flames got Hannafin and Elias Lindholm. Comparable cost is like sort of similar, would be like Travis Sanheim and Travis Konecny.
No, thank you.
For Dougie Hamilton, because you're getting back a highly touted prospect who you're just not sure if he's going to make it, and then another prospect who has already been having issues with, I don't want to play here, so I'm not going to sign here. Which is just frustrating and annoying. So
for any city to deal with.
Yeah. So
especially Philadelphia.
Right. So that's a lot to give up. So I don't know, and it was just a simple thing where Hextall just didn't want to. He didn't want to give up that much.
I'm happy.
And so
hey,
what?
You're telling me Dougie Hamilton for Wayne Simmons straight up? Let's do it. Great.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Send you on your way. Thank you, Simmons.
11 times out of 10.
You're awesome.
I'm doing that.
I love you, Big Black.
Peace out.
No hard feelings, but
peace out.
The DH, designated hitter, coming to Philadelphia. The DH, baby. The DH.
That would have been nice.
I want to see more connecting. He ain't going nowhere.
No, he's not going anywhere. Hextall is it's clear that unless he is absolutely blown away and Edmonton calls up and is like, hey, we'll trade you McDavid for Konechny, outside of that happening, I don't see him moving any of these high-end prospects.
We'll trade you McDavid for Manning.
No. So, yeah, I just don't see him making that kind of move. So, with that, we'll move on to free agency. There's really the big names out there it's really just John Tavares, and then it kind of falls off. I mean, JVR, James Van Riemsdyk, big name.
Been a curse,
we don't know what he's going to get, though, and I don't know. And this is really his only chance to get paid because he's just coming off of the bridge deal he signed as the Flyer.
Yeah.
So he's not making much money. This is his chance to get paid. So I think he's going to want to cash in.
It's not going to be back in Philadelphia.
He's probably going to want a 7-year deal. He's probably going to want
$9 million, maybe.
No, he won't get
for 8.
He won't get what Kane got. He'll probably get $6 million. Which is Kane's another story. But so there's not really many names, but the 3 that I'm most interested in would be Calvin DeHaan.
Okay.
And all of these would be if Hextall can get them in here on a 2-year deal, 3 years max. Do not want to go past 3 years.
Well, we talked about that earlier in the segment. We don't want to get locked in. Yeah,
I don't. It's
a dangerous ball.
I don't want that. So 2 to 3 years max. Calvin DeHaan from the Islanders. Although we haven't had much success with taking on Islanders defensemen.
What do you mean? Andrew McDonald's a beast.
Yeah, Mark Streit,
beast. Aren't they paired together?
I don't even know, dude.
I think they were.
I feel like every defenseman in the league has been paired with Andrew McDonald because every team has tried to get it to work with him, and he just sucks no matter what.
I had him on my fantasy team when he was an Islander, and it wasn't that bad. But fantasy numbers do lie.
I'm done talking about Andrew McDonald forever. So Calvin DeHaan I like because Calvin DeHaan is actually what everyone thinks Andrew McDonald is.
Should be. Yeah.
Like a two-way defenseman who's decent in his own zone, can break up plays with his stick, can move the puck out of his own zone, and doesn't act like a starfish in front of his own net.
Oh my gosh.
And just,
how many times did we see that this year?
Do snow angels in front of his goalie. So I like Calvin DeHaan. I think you can get him pretty cheap, and he's probably going to want just a couple years. I don't think he's going to want anything crazy. Tyler Bozak is another name from the Maple Leafs.
You're interested in Tyler Bozak?
I like Tyler Bozak as a 3C. I don't, he's so with where he's been in the Maple Leafs organization, they tried to make him a 1C. He's not a 1C. So
maybe with playing with Phil Kessel, maybe.
No,
but even at that now,
because Phil Kessel needs a 1C to distribute the puck.
Who Phil Kessel reminds me of? Chris Kunitz, but better.
He's a better version,
a better of Chris Kunitz, but still needs players.
But Chris Kunitz even more so needed
the two best players in the world.
The two best players in the world.
Who's he playing with now?
Even with the Ducks, he needed Getzlaf and Perry.
Yeah,
he played with Tampa Bay this year. He had a pretty bad year.
Still garbage,
and they're not bringing him back. He's probably going to retire. So I like Tyler Bozak as a 3C. It depends on the term and the contract that he wants. It always comes down to money and term. I think for the Flyers, you have the ability to go with a higher salary.
Yeah, absolutely.
To avoid, like, especially right now with their cap situation, they have so much cap space that they can go, they can overpay someone in salary and underspend in term.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Instead of okay, so let's take Bozak, for example. Let's say he's going to want anywhere else, he's going to want, 4 or 5 years, $4 million a year. With the Flyers, they're able to say, hey, we're not going to give you the 4 or 5 years, but we'll give you $5 million for 2 years. And then he's going to be like,
pans out.
Okay,
yeah,
I might do that. I'll make a few extra bucks.
This way, we're not bound into a 7-year contract,
right? And so, that's one thing you don't want to get locked into. And then James Van Riemsdyk is another one that I really like.
You've always loved JVR.
I love JVR, and I think that he would be great. I would love to see a line of JVR, Patrick, and Voracek. I think that would be pretty good. But the only thing is, he's probably going to want term. He's probably going to want to –
at the spot he is in his career,
he's going to want to get – he's 30 years old, and he's going to want to get paid.
He's already 30 years old.
He's 30. Hard to believe, isn't it?
Wait. Was he in the same draft class as John Tavares, right?
No. Patty Kane.
Oh, okay. That's – yeah.
Yep. So I like JVR. If he wants to come here for 2 to 3 years, go for it. Give him $6 million a year. I don't care. It's going to be 2 to 3 years. Fine. Anything past that, though, no way. Do you think we even stand a chance to sign Tavares?
No.
Me neither. Let's move on. So Tavares is interesting. We'll get to him in a minute. Players that I want to avoid. Anyone on your list, aside from the ones that I've listed?
No, because those ones stand out the most. Val Filppula. I don't like cement players on my team, if that makes any sense. People who can't move.
Veteran glue guys.
Yeah, literally, skating down the ice.
Yeah, skating.
Like this.
Skating is a thing that you have to do. And they don't do it.
Now, I'll take 10 years ago Val Filppula.
With 10 years ago, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take Val Filppula from 10 years ago.
When he played with Vincent McCarthy.
Get that time machine. There he is,
Hello,
Lincoln. He's in there.
Jay Beagle.
Come on, buddy. Yeah. So here's the thing. I swear, I've been the one kind of preaching patience here and saying, don't get on Hextall for not doing anything. Or if the only thing that he does this offseason is sign Jay Beagle, I'm going to lose it.
I'll take this off.
I'm going to lose it. Jay Beagle as a 4C, maybe. But you know what happens if we sign Jay Beagle? Either Jay Beagle's your 3C or Yuri Laterra is your 3C. And that makes me want to throw up in my mouth.
Yeah.
So don't sign Jay Beagle. Someone else sign him before it. I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it. It's not going to happen now.
And I mean, as bad as a player as he is,
he's not even that bad of a player, but he would be, based on who our coach is, he would be overused for the role that he's supposed to play. He's a fourth line center. He's a decent fourth line center. He's a crap third line center. He can kill penalties, which is nice. That would be an upgrade. But just no. Because then your old freaking Laterra becomes your guy.
And that's scary.
Your glue
Again, who can't skate? And Jay Beagle's not even a hockey name. Are we going to talk about that?
It's a dog breed.
Can we talk about that? I have a Beagle.
J Doggy. We'll call him.
J Dog.
JB.
It's a cool name, J Dog, though.
J Dog.
Don't want him on a hockey team, though.
Don't want him.
Stay away. Stay away, doggo.
Not you, Lincoln.
Not you, buddy.
You can hang out. All right. So around the league, we got some things happening because you know what? I'm done talking about Flyers free agency until anything happens because it's just frustrating to think about while we're waiting for flipping John Tavares to make his decision.
It's like the offseason for hockey. Like I always say, NHL playoffs, NHL hockey is what gives majority of it wreaks havoc on my health.
It does.
through the season. And then I'm like, oh, I'm good. Like, the season's over now. We lost in the playoffs. What a relief. And you get to the offseason.
And hockey's the shortest offseason of any sport.
And it's almost even worse.
And it's even worse because you roll right to the draft where you feel like every pick your team made was a complete failure.
It's wrong.
And then you go into free agency and every player your team signs you disagree with. And then
it's a lose-lose.
It just sucks. Hockey sucks.
Hockey's awful.
But I love it. So, John Tavares. We have no shot, I don't think. There's a list of teams that are in the Tavares hunt. You have, obviously, the New York Islanders.
It's going out west.
You have the Toronto Maple Leafs. You have the San Jose Sharks, Tampa Bay Lightning, Dallas Stars, Boston Bruins. These were all the teams that the Tavares camp said, come to LA, come meet with us. It's going to be a good time.
Can we talk about something?
What do you want to talk about?
The fact that on any of those teams, how much would he impact that? Like, imagine him on Tampa Bay.
Well, impact it. I mean, he makes your team.
This is Lincoln.
Oh my gosh, Lincoln, you are extra. So he makes your team a legitimate contender. Like, and especially any of these teams, any of these 6 teams, they're right in there.
Yeah.
So
Tampa Bay was there.
Tampa Bay was there. Could you imagine him on Tampa Bay? I don't know how they do it cap-wise, especially
and that's the point I wanted to bring up, the fact that you have Nikita Kucherov, who's a stud.
Yeah.
Or Steven Stamkos, who's a stud. Andre Palat, who's relatively a decent second-line forward. Alex Killorn, another great player. Who else you got? I would say
Victor Hedman's pretty good.
Victor Hedman, Matt Carl.
Matt Carl, dude. He's been dead for like years.
That's true.
I don't even think he's retired.
No, he's not.
Yes,
I think he's still playing.
Dude.
Look it up.
Oh, my gosh. You're going to try and tell me.
I'm pretty sure Matt Carl's still on that roster.
No.
I'm telling you.
No.
I thought he passed away too, but I'm telling you.
You want to put a bet on this?
I'm scared.
Can we bet? It's a shame because he's only 33 years old. He hasn't played since 2016, 2017, in which he played 6 games.
Oh, you know what? He got traded to – okay, that's right. I forgot he was a Creditor.
Dude. Freaking Matt Carr. You thought he was still playing.
I could have swore he was still playing.
You're a funny guy. Oh, remember he had 40 points for us? Gosh. He's only 33. I wonder what happened.
He's a bum.
Poor guy. Anyways, so yeah, Tampa Bay, they get him. Any of these teams get him. They're, immediately like probably the favorite to win the cup. Where do you think he's going to go?
It's tough because you know who's, I think, infamous for getting these kind of players that teams don't want is the Bruins. You look what the Blues did. They got rid of David Backes. Where'd he go? Bruins. Bruins have also received, who was it?
Rick Nash.
Rick Nash, yep, that's another one. It's just, to me, it seems like personally, I would like to see him end up on Toronto. I think he'd fit in best there, especially with Austin Matthews, obviously. Maybe even San Jose. I don't see him going. I don't see how Tampa could finagle that. And I see Dallas as one of those teams that also, like Tyler Seguin.
Yeah.
So
the thing with Boston is, I don't see him going to Boston because I don't know. I just don't. It'd be a tough cap situation.
Marchand.
They do have a lot of young players, though, and they would probably look to move Krejci.
Yeah, who's going to sign him, though?
Well, no. I mean, they would just, they could probably move him. They would definitely have to move Backes.
David Backes.
Dallas is a tough one because if they sign Tavares, it's highly doubtful they're able to sign Seguin next year.
Because they're obviously paying Seguin. Look up how much Seguin makes.
Seguin surprisingly doesn't make all that much right now. The real issue for them is that they have to re-up Sagan, as well as like a bunch of other people. So
Sagan's also still very young too.
Yeah,
20-something.
Because they have,
I mean,
they have like a decent. How much? They have 18 million projected cap space, but which they can get away with for right now. I'm freaking looking at the Sharks.
I was going to ask you, buddy, does Sagan play for the Sharks?
Sagan play for the Sharks? No. Dallas Stars, 19.8 million in projected cap space for this year. So they could probably do it this year. So Jamie Benn, they have making $9.5 million for the rest of eternity. Jason Spezza comes off the books this year. There's that money. They got Alex Radulov making 6.25. Tyler Sagan's making 5.7.
He's only making 5.7
now. Well, yeah, that was his like second deal before he became a UFA. So now he's a UFA and he has a lot of leverage.
Yeah.
So he's going to resign probably $10 million. I would think that he gets paid above what Jamie Benn's making. And then they have Nichushkin's coming back over. So he's going to be getting paid. They got to pay defensemen. They need to find a goalie. They're just going to have cap issues. And I don't know. I don't know if they'll be able to do Sagan and Tavares. So then San Jose makes a lot of sense. They can do it cap wise. But
they still don't have defense after that.
Well, no, they have a good defense. I mean, Brent Burns is pretty good. They have a good defense. You're going to make me look up their roster right now?
Yeah, I do, because you know what? You're talking about they got a great defense, but when have they shown up in the playoffs at all?
They have Brent Burns, Marc-Edouard Vlasic, Justin Braun.
You're going to tell me Vlasic Pickles is a friggin' good defenseman?
I'm not. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Garbage.
He's pretty good.
Dill Pickle.
He's pretty good.
Vlasic.
He's pretty good.
Capital V. Vlasic.
He's pretty good.
Okay. Friggin' Dill Pickle.
Whatever, dude.
So Tommy Pickles.
They're gonna have issues. They're gonna have issues with cap though as well. I think at the end of the day, it goes back to the Islanders, just because of their future, and I think that it's more so Lou can just be like, I'm gonna get a goalie. Trust me.
That's I
got you a Stanley Cup winning coach.
Yeah.
You have me here. We got prospects. We got Matthew Barzal. We're in this. We're good.
Barzal.
Yeah, he's good, man.
What a beast. So good.
Yeah. So I think that he stays put.
So all you Flyers hootenanny fans, get off that train.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see him in a Flyers uniform. It's just not going to happen. And
it could, but at the cost of what?
The only conceivable way we could see John Tavares here this year is if we give him just a max contract for 1 year.
Nope.
And we say, here's $15.9 million, go crazy for 1 year, and then we'll re-sign you, which is something the Leafs might do. The Leafs might sign him to a $15.9 million contract for 1 year and then renegotiate and re-up him after the fact. To
see what it does for their roster.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they can make it work, but that's a tough pitch because that's a lot of risk for Tavares. If he gets injured, then, he's kind of screwed. So we've already touched on the Hamilton trade, already touched on the draft. I want to talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Going down the drain. Crosby,
obviously,
you're the best player in the world. But
no,
still hate you.
McDavid's the best player in the world.
Dude. I hate Crosby just as much as you do, but...
No, listen, I respect Crosby, and up until last season, yeah, sure, Crosby, best player in the world. McDavid is overtaking him. McDavid's the best player in the world. He just led the league in scoring, and he plays for the Oilers.
This is true.
I'm sorry, but... he's good. So I need to know, how do the Pittsburgh Penguins maintain cap space at all?
What do you mean? They only have Crosby, Malkin, Letang. Ollie
It
Matta.
just boggles my mind that year after year, they are never in cap trouble, it seems. They are never in cap trouble. It's like Gary Bettman has worked some way for them to never have cap issues at all. Evgeny Malkin, Sidney Crosby, Phil Kessel, Patrick Hornquist, Derek Brassard, like Chris Letang, Justin Schultz, Brian Dumoulin, Ollie Matta, Matt Marionette. Like they have all these big names.
But it's been that way for years.
And they just maintain this insane amount of cap space every single year. And so today, because there's been talk of them wanting to like add players and do this and that, and rumors about Phil Kessel being traded and all this stuff and like whatever. Today they make a trade. They trade Connor Sheary, who's like a depth player who really benefited from playing with Sidney Crosby, and when they took him away from Sidney Crosby, did not really do that well, which has been like the ongoing experiment, it seems, year after year, where this just happens every single year.
Chris Kunitz.
So yeah, everybody they put on Crosby's wing. If you put on Crosby's wing, you're going to score goals.
Carl Hagelin.
No, Carl Hagelin's good.
He's a good player.
He didn't
just
play
want
on
to throw him
Crosby's
under the
line.
bus. Yeah.
So
I just don't like
and
him.
Matt Hunwick's like a 6'7" defenseman, whatever. Basically, they cleared out $5 million in cap space and they got a 4th round pick. Now, how the league lets that happen is beyond me, because it was clearly a salary dump. This was clear. This was not a hockey trade. This was a salary cap trade. They just threw these players away to Buffalo for a 4th round pick, which is unbelievable. Connor Sheary scored 18 goals this year. Like, I mean, it's 18 goals. That's worth more than a 4th round pick.
It's a 20-goal score.
So,
it's
and this was a salary dump. So I don't know how the league lets that happen. There's all these rumors, okay, they're gearing up that's enough cap space to go after Jeff Skinner. Well, then this report comes out that the Penguins have reached an agreement with defenseman Jack Johnson.
Jackie J. JJ.
And then you're like, okay, Jack Johnson, whatever. But then you're like, well, what's the term? Oh, 5 years, $16 million. What?
Crazy.
Jack Johnson has probably the worst underlying statistics of any defenseman in the last decade.
Ever.
Like, and every team that he's played on, he has drug his teammates down so bad. He has had one positive year for having an advanced metric in his relative Corsi and all that kind of stuff, which we're not going to get into. But he does not drive play. And if anything, he hinders play. Like, he is just not a good defenseman.
No.
Especially at this point in his career.
I don't think he's a good team player. He's not a
because he's what? Is he 30? How old is he?
32?
He's somewhere around there. He's in his early 30s.
I think he's 33, 34, actually. He's up there.
He's 31.
31. Okay.
He's going to freaking make a little over $3 million a year to be, bottom pairing defenseman for the Penguins. But like Jack Johnson, you clear this cap space, and then you go and you're going to sign Jack Johnson for 5 years.
That's what they do.
And they're probably going to win a cup.
They're going to win a cup.
And it just, Jack freaking Johnson, he sucks.
That's what it's
like, he sucks. And now listen, I'm happy because there's a couple reports that, the Flyers were mildly interested in bringing in Jack Johnson. And I wanted to,
become a Knights fan?
I'm already a Knights fan.
Yeah, I love the Knights.
It made me want to just quit, like, breathing. Because I'm just like, Jack Johnson's just awful. He's an awful hockey player. He's an awful defenseman. He doesn't do anything well anymore. He used to be able to move the puck pretty well, but he can't defend. He can't drive play. Like, I
don't think he's that good in the locker room either. If you're sacrificing your play, at least be good in the locker room, then be good for team morale,
just
team chemistry.
Absolutely terrible. What the hell are they thinking? I mean, I'm happy about it because he's going to be playing for the Penguins.
Yeah.
But it's just like their one area of weakness this year was defense. They just made their team worse. They just traded off 2 guys who, like, even Hunwick, not a great defenseman, but he's serviceable 6'7" defenseman. Connor Sheary, you just traded a depth forward and someone who scored 18 goals. I'm like, your MO as the Pittsburgh Penguins is you score goals, and you traded an 18-goal scorer who scored, I believe, 15 of those goals at even strength. And now you're going to bring in Jack Johnson. Now, it's one thing if they can still go out and get Jeff Skinner if they wanted to.
Who do they pair him with?
But
Crystal Tang?
I don't even know.
Olimata?
Probably Alexiak.
And that's the thing. If you're struggling defensively with big names, I'm not saying Crystal Tank's a terrible defenseman. Garbage. Terrible.
He got better.
He's adapted. Well, he has to adapt.
He's gotten better.
Yeah. But I'm saying that
He still had a bad year, though.
He's injury prone. Too many concussions. The man gets hit.
Shoulder problems.
Yeah, he's done.
Got a little bit of everything.
He's done.
And it's good to see. I'm like, I ain't mad about it.
I never want to wish injury upon anybody at all. But yeah, it's.
Listen, and I've grown to. I don't like Crystal Tang.
You don't.
I used to despise him.
You hate him.
I used to have this thing against defensemen who couldn't play defense.
Yeah, I remember PK Subban.
Because it's just like, why are you a defenseman? Just play forward.
But then you realize that the league is
but the
now
league's
shifting.
But no, PK Subban has gotten much better in his own end, and he kills penalties now.
He's a better player now, absolutely.
Yeah, better all-around defenseman. And I love PK Subban. He's someone I would really
like to marry.
I wouldn't marry him because I'm already married. I am.
To this beautiful golden retriever, Lincoln.
Yes, that's who. That is who. But yeah, so Pittsburgh, I just wanted to. I'm really.
But
happy.
I like touching on that stuff.
I'm really happy that they're making this move.
Because you and I were talking about it. We think that, and I was even saying in a couple posts on Facebook and Twitter, I believe that in the NHL we're going to see a huge transition in the Flyers division of power, and I think that you're going to see that Backstrom and Ovechkin are getting old, and that really once they're gone,
it's coming.
Once they're gone, who's their number one? Oshie, who's not a number one.
Well, no.
Oshie's a phenomenal player, but he's not your.
So the back end of his deal, though,
he's not your go-to guy.
He signed for 8 years.
Yeah, and who do they? And I mean, they have Kuznetsov, who's 30. But again, I don't
have a really good goalie coming.
I don't see them leading. I don't see Oshie and Kuznetsov as leaders. I don't see them. I see them as paired players. You know what I mean?
They're complementary.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, no. Kuznetsov he's a beast.
He's a freak. But I don't.
He's a beast. Ovechkin will pass the torch on to him, and I think that honestly, as much as I wanted to believe that, once Ovi and Backstrom are done and the Capitals are done. I
have all that room for cap space.
Well, they're struggling with cap space too. But I think that, and they were fortunate to be able to move Brooks Orpik. They were able to re-sign Carlson. But I think that they're actually poised pretty well right now.
Okay.
To be able to, and this is almost where I see the Flyers heading, where you're going to see, Giroux and Voracek will step into the role that Alex Ovechkin and Nick Backstrom are stepping into.
Yeah.
Where they're going to be the more vocal veteran type leaders. And they're still going to be good players, but they're going to be passing the torch. Where Kuznetsov and John
we're going to have Nolan Patrick, Konechny.
Yeah, Patrick, Konechny, Couturier,
yep.
Sanheim, Gostisbehere, Provorov. These are your guys.
And I think that, it's for so many years, the Capitals and the Penguins pretty much dominated our division with us in the mix a little here and there, not as of recently. Yeah. But I think that a team that you're going to see really fall off in the next 3-4 years, it's going to be the Schittsburg Penguins.
I hope so. Because they suck, even though they're great.
Because you got to think, Malkin and Crosby were in the same draft? Yeah.
Back-to-back years.
Are you sure?
Malkin's a year older.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But they're going to realistically speaking, injury-wise, they're probably both going to retire almost around the same time.
Yeah.
You're going to have Crystal Tang gone. Phil Kessel's who the hell is Phil Kessel?
He eats hot dogs. A lot.
He's a fat boy. He's a big boy. He can play though. Boy. He can ball.
Oh, he can play.
He can ball.
He can play. But I'm excited for the downfall.
A huge shift
whenever it comes.
In the good old Medi.
And so development camp got kicked off this week, which is actually happening today. It was down at the beach. It's coming up to the Voorhees skate zone, which is right down the street from here.
Played there many times. Laid many kids out there.
Morgan Frost made an appearance
MJ?
at the volleyball game. He was looking a little beefed up.
Yeah?
He was looking like he put on a few pounds.
He was only
in a
160
good way.
pounds when I was last checked in on him.
In a good way. He has muscle. So I'm wondering.
Don't you do it.
I'm wondering.
For those of you who do not know who Morgan Frost is, you need to look up his highlights from his junior team because
he had a
insane,
earth-shattering year.
Insane. Did you watch any of his highlights?
A little bit, yeah.
I know. The dude's got vision.
I know, man. He's unbelievable. I'm just wondering.
You're thinking it, aren't you?
I'm wondering.
I'd rather have Frost than Hart come up.
Start Hart. Hashtag start Hart.
Don't you do that.
I'm just kidding.
He's so young. He's a baby.
I know he's young.
He's
a beast too, though.
Dude.
There's a picture of him playing in the football game. He's ripped. His nutrition is like, dude.
It's like me.
Oh my gosh. You're such a clown.
Look at that.
Yeah, wonderful.
Full of beer.
But dude, I'm just saying, it could happen.
No.
Frosty. The Frosty.
Mr. Frosty.
Mr. Frosty.
Oh my God. You heard it from us first, folks. If you didn't take anything away from this, this is the one thing to take away. Morgan Frost. And I guess Mr. Frosty's only really in South Jersey.
Well, it's now, in all fairness, it's Mr. Softy. But we're combining.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So like
Mr. Softy.
Mr.
So Wendy's, who is our proud sponsor, Wendy's, and Mr. Softy, proud sponsors.
Not Mr. Frosty.
Mr. Frosty.
Y'all heard it from us first.
Mr. Frosty.
Mr. Frosty.
Heck yeah.
That's a great nickname.
I love it.
I want to drink a beer with Mr. Frosty.
I'm Mr. Frosty. Hey man, cheers to Mr. Frosty.
Mr. Frosty.
Let's
See you
go.
next season, baby.
Let's go. So I think that's all the time we got for tonight. Unless you got anything else.
Yeah, I'd just like to quick go over that Tom Brady did not lose the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh.
He threw 535 yards passing, which is a all-time record. Just want to put that out there. Beat the Patriots defense, not the offense there, buddy.
So the Eagles won the Super Bowl?
Yes.
All right.
Listen.
That's all I needed to hear.
Because here's the issue I have with it, is that if the Patriots would have won the Super Bowl, this is the way Philly fans are, everyone would have bitched and complained that the NFL is rigged. Correct?
No.
Yes.
No.
You know how many Eagles fans I had in my ear saying, it doesn't matter, we're not going to win anyway, the friggin' NFL is rigged.
Whatever.
Just check in with Facebook every once in a while for your Bird Gang Nation posts.
No, I do not go on Facebook.
All these
for that simple reason.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
I got back into Twitter.
Why?
Just to because I'm, trying to promote this and, just kind of want to get, the up-to-date information on, what's going on around the league. Man.
It's incredible.
It's just like people losing their minds.
I'm telling you, listen, I kid you not. I had kids, and you know who you are if you're listening, that were counting the Flyers out of the playoffs before, as soon as we got assigned the Pittsburgh Penguins, an immediate post was put out. Oh, we're getting swept.
You probably should have gotten swept.
You're a great person. We held our own for what we had.
A game.
For what we had. With all injured, you're going to tell me if we didn't have a full healthy roster, we couldn't have given them a little more?
No.
You're crazy.
Had we started the series with Michael Neuwirth and not moved Konechny off the top line, a.k.a. if Dave Hackstall could coach, then now I'm going to give him another season because
give him time, buddy. Give him time.
I'm going to give him time. I don't want to, and it pains me. I'm going to give him time.
Hey, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Because there's really no other options out there. So
Rome was built in a day, buddy.
Are you going to say that every podcast?
Rome wasn't built in a day.
It's fantastic. So, yeah, that's all the time we got for tonight. Love you guys. You're great. Thanks to all the 4 billion viewers we have.
6 trillion.
6 trillion. Love you guys. You're great. Have a wonderful night.
Deuces.
Go Flyers.
Let's go.
Go Flyers.